Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Tender. It is Monday, February 12th, 2024. Welcome, everybody. I have some updated information from the last video. We worked on SPY, went around the board, and checked out VIX as well. And some bearish implications had started to rise. So I want to make a new video, and our hedge is working out well also. And that's IWM. So one other thing this video is going to be about is really marking the top for tech. I think Nvidia is marking the top for tech. And I'll show you that later on in this video. So make sure you stick around. If you're new here, go down to that bottom right-hand corner, hit that Options Center logo, and subscribe. And thank you for all the likes. It's much appreciated. It has helped this channel grow, and we can get this information out to other traders. So thanks for joining me here. Let's get into it. We have SPY on the daily time frame. What we talked about in the last video is not only the structure, the topping structure that we're talking about, viewing, we're not quite up to the upper end of the expanding ending diagonal, but we don't have to get there. So we're going to use this channel as a reference. Price action gets back underneath the channel, and we'll consider that very bearish, a fake break, and we'll look for price to reverse. I do think we're getting our reversal, but we'll have to keep an eye on IWM. So I recommend checking out Saturday's video, because that's very important to look at the, I think IWM will say a lot whether the market continues to move up, because I think the burden will be on the small caps. Okay, and we also talked about this volatile area here, this box, okay, this consolidation area. So I think when we get our reversal, this is going to be the first big zone here at 473. But I think ultimately down to this 460 area, the previous tops, that's really where our battle is going to take place. And I think that if we get our reversal down to here, there's the last possibility. It's an alternate scenario. I give it in much more detail in the last video, that this would provide not only a bounce in the bearish scenario and then head lower, but the alternate scenario where we get a new high again. Okay, so check out that video. Now we're going to go over to, and let me just give you the visual. We have the expanding diagonal. This is our primary count. It's what we're looking at right now. We're so close to the top portion if we have our wave one ending right here. Okay, so all the check marks have been checked for a possible reversal. We're even starting to get a reversal candle. We'll see how this ends at the end of the day. And here's the alternate scenario where this is an ending diagonal for a major top, where this is a larger wave one. Wave 2, 3 is getting smaller. Wave 4 should probably cross over wave 1. That would be typical. And that's why this is going to be such a big battleground here. And then we'll continue for wave 5. That would be our alternate scenario if we're going to get another high. Either way, we're looking for the reversal and start to head this direction. Now, going over to the Qs, I think Nvidia is marking a top for the Qs. Everything's checked off. We have this rising wedge. Didn't quite get to the top of the wedge there, so anything's possible. Still go there. We don't have to. We're getting the reversal candle, reversal doji there, so there's a nice setup. And then if we're looking at the scenario similar to SPY, you see this consolidation zone over here. I think the first test will be this 400 area, the former all-time high. And then if it plays out similar to SPY, we have this former top here in July, the July top. And so this will this next area around 384. So you have 400 and 384 will be big zones to test. But if we do get down to this lower area, we're starting to break major trend lines. So, if we're going to go up again, I think it'll be due to Nvidia, and we'll talk about that. I don't think Nvidia had a major top. I just think it has a top right now. Okay. And I think Nvidia can help lead the pullback. I'm not sure we'll get down to this level. I think Qs might be a little bit stronger. We'll see. We'll get down to this level, see what kind of, if we get a bounce, I think we'll get a bounce and head lower, or we'll get a new high. Okay. In the alternate scenario, I do think that this top is ending. We're topping out, and I do think it's a major top. But we'll keep that in mind that, there's other possibilities. See if we got a new top here. We got a new high here, new high. So yes, we have divergence over and over and over. We talk about the divergences over and over and over. We're getting it on the Williams percent R with the lower high here, lower high in RSI. And we don't have the confirmation, but we definitely have another lower high for more divergence. So when those play out, it's going to be a pretty extreme move. And that's why I think we're going to top out here. I'm not sure we're looking for another high. Okay, so that's it on the Qs. We'll go to IWM. Now, what we talked about in the last video, this is a major area, resistance at this 20150. All right, we're above that. We're above the possible bear flag. We'll see how this candle ends today. But so far, this is a great hedge. It's holding up strong while our puts are working on SPY and QQQ. Okay, so far so good. If it holds and stays above this 20150 area, I do think this is going to really start to rip. This will have legs. This would be, if it starts to break this high up here at 205, we're looking at this being a possible 1, 2, and then, like I said in the other video, much more detail, check it out. But wave 3 should be pretty relentless. Okay, and continues higher, and that means that the market probably won't be able to head down much, if at all, if the small caps are ripping. Okay, but we have to keep in mind, and we'll look on the lower time frame when we get there, that this is also we're also right at another resistance area, and it could provide plenty of resistance for this to fake break and head back down again. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. DIA, we're just going to view it. It's the same thing. Big old wedge happening. Kind of, really just consolidating, grinding a little bit higher. The VIX. And then we'll go to Nvidia. Okay, we have the VIX here. In this box that we've been talking about, it held the support, the trend line here. We're making higher highs and higher lows in structure. So this is building up, it's coiling, and it's above the 8, 50, and 20 moving averages. I do think this is going to start to break out at this point. I think we got our reversal. I think possibly at most fill the gap, make a higher low, and continue higher. So we'll see what happens with CPI tomorrow. That's a good catalyst. If the market goes higher from CPI, we'll close this gap. And then I do believe that would be some sort of fake out. Again, we'll have to watch the small caps. We'll have to watch the VIX. We have VIX expiration on Wednesday, so that will allow the VIX to do what it needs to do. And I do think that it will start to break out. At this point, I think I've made a low, another higher low. All right, now checking out Nvidia, and what's giving me another clue that I think this is a top. We have on the daily time frame, first of all, a beautiful reversal candle, but we're at the top of the channel here, And this has been a nice 5-wave move in this beautiful wave 3. And I think we might be topping out at the top of the channel here. At least it makes for an objective short. And we shorted it here as well. Had a nice play, but we had to get out clearly because Nvidia kept going higher. So keep an eye on Nvidia. We'll revisit that on a 65-minute. So heading over to SPY. Let's go down to the 65-minute time frame. Don't forget, trend is our friend, unless we're hedging against it. So here we have this this rising wedge. All right. This may mark the top here. There is some room. This is really just a divergent. This is not a true trend line because we only have the 2 touches on it. So I'm just drawing that there for divergence. And so far, holding on to this trend line here. All right. Holding on to the wedge bottom. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't think we'll get much more of a move today to the downside. Maybe, but I think we'll wait for the CPI numbers. QQQ. $65. Again, we have, so this could be a possible 1, 2, 3, and this was a wave 4 that just happened today, so that could be on SPY as well. And we got one more high going into CPI tomorrow, and that would maybe close some of the gap or all the gap for VIX tomorrow, and then we'll not have another objective short. But we do have a wedge top, possibly a little bit higher above that 442 area, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep our hedges on with the IWM. Let's check that out. IWM, we're going to go straight over to the 65. You see it landed right on the options expected move for the week. So that could mark the top there. We get above the expected move and price could accelerate to the upside, but maybe we consolidate first and perhaps retest the channel that it broke out from. But we also want to show that we're at that 88% retracement. I know that's deep for a wave 2, but it's still a possible into this move here, which is just retesting this consolidation, the bottom of the consolidation zone here at 203. And again, you know, I said over 201, we'd be long, and we are long. So shorter term IWM calls and longer term SPY and QQQ puts. All right. With the VIX, we'll just get a closer look, and then we'll go to Nvidia once again to end this video off. Got a good update. Nvidia's showing us some weakness. And with the VIX, we're right at resistance for this pennant. So we could let me lift that just a little bit. So we could reverse from here, going into CPI, start to close some of this gap, and we'll be looking for another top in the Qs in SPY, and we'll see what the small caps do. But we start to break out from, maybe we price action goes higher in the market. We start closing some of this gap, maybe back to support at the 13. And then we'll be looking for this pennant to, or flag to break out, this falling wedge. Okay. It's kind of what we're looking at. That's what it's setting up right here. But you know, with the CPI tomorrow, the market could react very negatively, and maybe we gap over and just continue to the upside. But once we break out from this pennant or falling wedge, I think that's the time to really press the accelerator on the bearish side. That'll be a good indicator. But with Nvidia, and I'm going to show you, just stick around just a little bit longer, I'm going to show you an Elliott wave pattern as well. So with Nvidia, I'll just show you this channel. Top of the channel again. Yes, it can go back up to the top of the channel. You go with 65 there. That's a little bit better. Okay, So we have an objective short right here. We are short Nvidia, and I do think we can start testing the bottom of the channel, if not breaking down from it, heading into the next couple weeks. Okay, and the reason why I say Nvidia is not necessarily just a temporary top is because we have this structure here. So we had this channel that we broke out from, but I don't think this 1, 2 has been completed for this series. So I do think we'll get a nice significant drop, and I think Nvidia will help the market go to those points that I was talking about earlier in QQQ and SPY to test. Okay, and this structure looks like a beautiful 5-wave structure completed for a wave 3, and now we have to correct a wave 4 and a 5. And I think that going into earnings, that will allow Nvidia, maybe it gaps, onto new highs or something like that, and it is exhaustion gap, and we short it from that point. But we'll be looking for the 1, 2, 3, pullback 4, and 5. How deep can that go? Let's pull out the retracement tool. We'll go to the bottom of wave 2, or the bottom of wave 3, however you want to say it, to the top of wave 3, if this, in fact, this is the top. And we'll be looking for 2 targets. Let me just highlight those. It's the 23% and the 38% retracement. Okay, so you'll probably get a reaction off of this 675, which is the consolidation area here, and also the 23% retracement. And then we'll be looking for this return back to wave 4 area, which is the 38.2. So that's why I put the 4 down here. It's very common and very likely for the wave 4 to revisit the lower degree wave 4. So that would bring us down to about the 632 zone, and that will weigh heavy on the market, and we'll get that pullback in the market. And here's a good test, as if we get down there by let's see, February 21st, that can easily be done. The earnings could just blow off up here, get a new high, and then we can be looking for a short at that point. All right, so we'll keep an eye on Nvidia. It continues to lead the Qs. I do think we have a top here, therefore I think we have a top in the Qs. That's the translation. All right, I hope this helps. This is a good trade idea for us. I do think we're very soon going to reach this 675, possibly into this week. All right, thanks for joining us here at Options Center. Have a wonderful day. We will talk to you tomorrow.